Ever wondered what happens if you box every single day for 50 days? Well, in just under 2 months, you could transform your conditioning, sharpen your technique, and feel unstoppable. But there's one surprising side effect most people never expect. And if you did do boxing training non-stop for 50 days, the truth is it would be way more complicated than you might imagine. Let's be honest, the hype around boxing training is there for a reason. It's one of, if not the best full body workouts that you can do. You're using your legs when you're moving around. You're using your core every time you throw a punch when you're rotating, if you're doing it correctly. And as well, you're using your upper body when you're throwing them punches and you're defending, all while keeping your conditioning sky high. And that's not including all of the psychological benefits that boxing training has got. Now, when you do this right, boxing will improve your fitness, your coordination, like probably nothing else in the world. So where's the problem? Well, the problem isn't boxing itself, it's the idea of doing the exact same thing every single day without any changes. Now, maybe you know this or not. Our bodies improve by adapting to stress, but if that stress is never changing and we're doing the same thing over and over again, your body will stop adapting. That's called the plateau. I'm sure you've heard of the plateau. The point where your progress slows down or even stops, and sometimes you feel like you're going backwards. This has happened to so many people when they are training boxing over and over again. But plateau is not the real danger. The real danger is the one that people don't talk about. And it's a lot bigger than just hitting that plateau, which we'll talk about in a second. Now, if you are doing this for 50 days, the first week would be exactly what you would probably expect. You'd be sore. You'll have pain. It might be a little bit miserable when you're waking up in the morning. Your shoulders, your legs, your core will be screaming, I need a rest. Your timing would probably feel off as well. You'd probably have to break up your sessions, especially at the end of the week, doing shorter rounds with longer recovery. Now, when you're doing this and you're feeling tired, the main focus would be trying to keep that technique right. Because as we get tired, as we plateau, it's then when we start making silly mistakes and getting into bad habits. We want to always be focusing on the right technique, keeping our feet underneath us while we throw them punches, making sure we're bringing our hands back to our face after every time we throw a punch. I would list the techniques all day long, but I'm not going to on this video. Then after you've done 1 week, by week 2, something would probably click. The soreness would start to fade and it would be replaced by a feeling of perhaps rhythm and sharpness. Your punches would probably start to flow a little bit better. Your combinations would feel faster. Your footwork would feel lighter and more on point. And you probably would be enjoying these workouts, but you would start to see some minor results. But this is the honeymoon phase. You know, when you get a new bird and you're on that honeymoon period and you're like, oh yeah, I want to marry her. And a couple of weeks later, you're like, how did I feel like about that woman? Now I just can't stand the sight. No, but anyway, let's get back to the boxing. But you probably know what I'm talking about. Now, the honeymoon phase, this is a part of the challenge because this is the part that hooks you in and you're like, yes, this is the best. Because the gains would feel like they're coming fast. But week 3, this is when things would get really interesting. You'll be breezing through multiple rounds. You'll be slipping good. You'll be counterpunching good. You might be bored of hitting the bloody heavy bag if you're doing the same thing over and over again, but it would feel second nature to you. That moving ahead, what might have been a struggle in day 1, week 1, is now coming way more natural to you. And if you look in the mirror, you might look a little bit leaner. You might be seeing these gains through all of this training that you've been doing. But you'd also stop noticing something strange, and that might be your body would feel tight in certain areas where you didn't even know you could feel tight, like different parts of your shoulders and your lats down here will be tight. And if you're doing boxing correctly, your hips will be tight as well. Yes, your hips. That's because the muscles that you're using in your boxing sessions would be worked every single day. Others would be neglected, right? And the critical problem is focusing only on boxing movements can create imbalances. As you probably know, boxing relies on the push-pull mechanics. If you hammer in your punches every day without balancing them out with different sort of strength training and stretching, stretching is actually a big one. everyone, if you want to bloody do this and get through 50 days of boxing, you need to be stretching and recovering, or you'll never get through it. Because what you're doing is you're setting yourself up for overuse and over tightening the muscles, which will just get massive knots in them. Now, this is probably the side effect that you would probably may or may not expect. While your skills, if you're doing everything the correct way, would be sharpening, parts of your body would be getting left behind, and you'd be building yourself into an unbalanced athlete. You'd be sharp in one area and crap in the other area. Now, this is dependent on what sort of boxing training you're doing. If you're doing a full proper workout with the warm-up, the shadow boxing, the heavy bag work, the drills, and maybe some speed bar work and core work, then you will be all right. But if not, and you're just hitting the bag and not doing anything before and after that, then yes, you'll definitely turn into an unbalanced human being, which we don't want to turn into. Now, a great example of this is when I was training for my Guinness World Record, throwing as many punches as I could in 24 hours, my shoulders got massive because I'm just standing there throwing punches. My footwork turned to crap because I wasn't moving my feet. I was just standing in one space and my feet were getting really bloody sore. And I guess what I should have been doing, rather than just standing in the gym punching the bag for 10 hours at a time, is doing some footwork as well. But to be honest, when I'm in the gym for 10 hours punching a bloody heavy bag, I'm not wanting to do any footwork. I'm just wanting to get through that 10 hours and zoning my mind off. So should you consider challenging yourself to do 50 days in a row? Well, no, absolutely not. Because if you're doing that, you're never going to recover. Because our bodies, we need rest if we want to get better. Your body doesn't get fitter during the workout. It gets fitter and builds strength and muscle when we're recovering. That means giving yourself at least one day each week should be a non-negotiable in your boxing training. It's how you will prevent injury. It allows your body to adapt. Second, you need to be able to mix up your workouts. You shouldn't just be hitting the heavy bag every bloody day like I was doing for this Guinness World Record. Some days you should be focusing just on shadow boxing. Other days focusing on footwork drills. Well, I guess a lot of the days you should be focusing on footwork drills, because if you want to get better at boxing, footwork is the key thing you can do. Now, before I get on with this video, I just want to say, if you want to have some unbelievable footwork drills and get some education on how to move your feet to improve your full boxing game, you should check out the Boxing Footwork Academy. This is over 50 videos giving you all of the drills that you need, all of the different tips to perfect your footwork, not only be able to move smoother, but be able to punch faster, sharper, and better. You can grab your phone and scan here, or go to boxingfitness.com/footwork. The links are below, and get all of the information about the Boxing Footwork Academy. Now, back to the 50 days of training. By giving your body and mind different variations, there's way less chance that you're going to feel that plateau in your training and not burning out. Now, the other thing with boxing training all of that time is you don't just want to be doing boxing training to get better at boxing. You want to be supplementing your boxing training with different sort of strength exercises, mobility work, like simple pulling exercises like pull-ups, rows, resistant band training, which I've done videos all about. And when you do add something like stretching and mobility into your boxing, this is going to help your shoulders and hips stay loose. So you'll be able to punch faster, you have better defense, you'll be sharper, and you keep them hips loose to be able to help you with the rotation and movement as well. Because like I mentioned before, footwork is one of, if not the best things in boxing that you can perfect to get better in boxing. So keeping them hips loose will definitely help with that. Now, finally, I just want to talk about technique. People always say practice makes perfect, practice makes perfect, but it doesn't. Practice doesn't make perfect. If I'm going to the gym and I'm throwing jabs and punches like this, does this mean if I do this every single day, I'm going to be perfect? Absolutely not. It's not practice makes perfect, it's perfect. Practice makes perfect. So making sure that when you are hitting the bag, whether you're doing it once a week, twice a week, 10 times a week, whatever it may be, is every single time you are punching, you want to be punching for perfection. Now, if you don't want to get better at boxing and you just want to get fit, just hit the bag and just do that, mate, and yeah, you'll get fitter, but you're not going to get better. Now, how many times do you have to train to get better at boxing? 50 days in a row, like I mentioned at the beginning of this video? No. But one thing I do want to say is if you are training twice a week, it's good if that's all you can do. But now I want to compare you, who's training twice a week, with the guy who's training 4 times a week. This guy is going to get better than you and fitter than you and stronger than you and sharper than you twice as fast. So at the end of the day, he's doing twice as much work, but only if they are working on the perfect form and technique. Now, everyone has got different goals, whether it is to be a world champion, whether to lose 50 pounds, whether it's just to learn boxing for self-defense. But learning how to train in a way where you are staying balanced with your sessions will help improve your skills and help your body and help you have more longevity in this sport. Because believe it or not, boxing is pretty low impact on all of your body. Yes, our fists is hitting a bag, but other than that, if you're looking after your body and training smart, you will be able to train a lot longer and get a lot better and enjoy this beautiful sport that we are doing and enjoying. Now, there's 2 things that you can do to get better at boxing. Number 1 is click here and check out the Boxing Footwork Academy. This will help you improve your footwork. And number 2, if you want to train smart, watch this video next, where I show you the difference between a 23-year-old me and a 40-year-old me, talking about the training that I do differently. So click here and watch this video next.